Let's get into the head of Nannie Doss, a woman who looked like she knit you a sweater, but was secretly spiking your coffee with rat poison. On the outside, she was all giggles and charm, the kind of grandma you'd trust with your kids. But inside, a black hole of obsession, rage, and a warped hunger for true love that left bodies piling up. To understand why she became a monster, we gotta start at the beginning. Her childhood in Alabama, where the seeds of her darkness were planted. This isn't just a story about murder. It's about a woman whose broken psyche turned her into a predator, and it's gonna creep you out. Nannie was born Nancy Hazel in 1905 in Blue Mountain, Alabama, to a dirt-poor farming family. Her dad, James Hazel, was a tyrant. Think abusive, controlling, and straight-up sadistic. He'd yank Nannie and her siblings out of school to work the fields, beating them if they slacked off. Nannie's mom, Louisa, was too scared to stand up to him, leaving Nannie to soak up years of fear and resentment. By age 7, things got worse. On a train ride, the train lurched, slamming Nannie's head into a metal bar. That injury wasn't just a bump. It left her with headaches, blackouts, and depression for life. Some shrinks say that head trauma messed with her impulse control, like a glitch in her brain that made her more prone to snapping. Add to that a childhood of being molested by local men. Her dad's strict rules didn't protect her, and you've got a kid who's already a ticking time bomb. Now, here's where it gets twisted. Nannie escaped her dad's grip through romance magazines, those sappy stories of perfect love and happy endings. She devoured the Lonely Hearts columns, dreaming a prince to sweep her away. That obsession with fairy tale love became her religion, but it was also her poison. When love didn't match her fantasy, she didn't just walk away, she killed. Psychoanalysts would call this a mix of narcissistic entitlement and borderline personality traits. She craved adoration but couldn't handle rejection or control. When people didn't fit her script, they became obstacles to eliminate. So why did Nannie kill? It wasn't just about money, though she cashed in on life insurance policies like a pro. It was about control and a warped quest for the perfect love story. Nannie saw herself as a heroine of her own romance novel, and anyone who didn't play their part, husbands who drank, kids who fussed, mothers who nagged, had to go. Psychologists might say she had a histrionic personality, always needing to be the center of attention, paired with a chilling lack of empathy. She wasn't a classic psychopath, no cold, calculated Ted Bundy vibes, but she was close enough to kill without blinking. Her childhood trauma played a huge role. That abusive dad and neglectful mom left her with what shrinks call an insecure attachment style. She desperately needed love but didn't trust it, so she controlled it through manipulation and, eventually, murder. The head injury at 7? It might have amplified her impulsivity, making it easier for her to act on dark urges. And those romance magazines? They fed her delusion that life should be a perfect love story, no matter the cost. When reality didn't match, she didn't adjust, she eliminated. Let's talk about her God complex, too. Poisoning gave Nannie power over life and death. Unlike a knife or a gun, arsenic is slow, sneaky, and agonizing. She'd watch her victims suffer, knowing she held the strings. That's not just murder, it's sadistic. She'd bake arsenic into pies, stir into coffee, or slip it into prunes, all while smiling like a doting wife. It's the kind of thing that makes your skin crawl. Imagine eating her cooking, not knowing each bite's a step closer to death. Nannie's victims weren't random strangers. They were family, the people closest to her. For husbands, 2 kids, her mom, a sister, 2 grandsons, and a mother-in-law, all dead between the 1920s and 1954. Why them? They were inconveniences. Her husbands disappointed her, drinking, cheating, or just not being the Prince Charming she wanted. Her kids? They tied her down, especially when she was chasing new men. Her mom and sister? They got in the way, nagging or needing care. The grandsons? One died because Nannie didn't want the burden. The other, she claimed, was an accident. But who believes that? Psychologically, this screams narcissistic rage. When people didn't meet her needs, she lashed out, not with fists but with poison. Women serial killers often choose poison. It's less messy, more feminine, and lets them keep their hands clean while watching the chaos unfold. Nannie's victims were mostly family, because they were the ones she could control most. She'd charm them, cook for them, then betray them in the worst way. It's like she was rewriting her life story, killing off anyone who didn't fit the plot. Her choice of older men and family also made her crimes easier to hide. Back then, a 60-year-old dying of heart trouble didn't raise red flags. Nannie knew this and exploited it. She played the grieving widow, collecting insurance checks while planning her next Lonely Hearts ad that's not just cunning, it's terrifyingly calculated. Let's get to the gruesome part. How she killed. Nannie's weapon was arsenic, often rat poison, which she'd mix into food or drinks. Arsenic poisoning is no quick death. It starts with nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea, then escalates to burning pain, seizures, and organ failure. Victims linger for hours, sometimes days, in agony. Imagine Samuel Doss, her fifth husband, doubled over after that prune pie, gasping, his insides melting while Nannie sat nearby, maybe knitting, maybe giggling. That's the horror, her calm while they suffered. Take her first big crime. In 1927, two of her daughters with Charlie Braggs, aged 2 and 4, died after eating tainted food. The doctor called it food poisoning, but Charlie suspected Nannie and fled with their other kids. He later said he left because he was scared of her. Smart move. Then there's Frank Harrelson, her second husband. In 1945, after 16 years of his drinking and abuse, Nannie spiked his moonshine with rat poison. He died screaming, his body convulsing. Witnesses said Nannie seemed relieved at his funeral, already eyeing her next husband. Her grandson, Robert, was even worse. In 1945, while babysitting, Nannie stuck a hairpin into his skull, claiming it was an accident. He died in her arms, and she told his mom, Melvina, he just stopped breathing. Melvina later swore she saw Nannie do it, but no one believed her. Nannie was too sweet. That's the kind of detail that makes you want to scream. Police reports from Tulsa in 1954, after Samuel's death, described Nannie's kitchen as a poison factory, with arsenic traces in her baking supplies. Media called her Arsenic Annie, and one reporter wrote, "She'd smile like your grandma, then serve you death on a plate." Nannie's downfall came with Samuel Doss in 1954. She married him in 1953, a strict Nazarene minister who hated her romance novels. When he banned her magazines, she snapped. She poisoned him once, sent him to the hospital with flu-like symptoms. He survived, came home, and she finished the job with that prune pie. The doctor, suspicious of sudden death, ordered an autopsy. The results? Enough arsenic to kill a horse. Police arrested Nannie on October 12, 1954, and she giggled through questioning, saying, "My conscience is clear." But when they dug up her past, exhuming bodies, finding arsenic everywhere, she cracked, confessing to 11 murders. Was she trying to get caught? Some shrinks think so. Her giggling, her jokes about her recipes, suggest she was tired of hiding. Or maybe she thought she was untouchable, a heroine who'd outsmart everyone. Either way, her trial was a circus. She pleaded guilty on May 17, 1955, and got life in prison. Oklahoma didn't execute women back then. The media ate it up with headlines like Giggling Granny's Deadly Desserts. Witnesses like Samuel's brother called her shrewd, not sweet, and neighbors said they'd never eat her cooking again. Nannie died in 1965, alone in a prison hospital, leukemia eating her away. No final words, no apologies, just a quiet exit. Families of her victims got no closure, just questions. Philosophically, Her end is a gut punch. She spent her life chasing a fairy tale, killing anyone who didn't fit, only to die in a cell, her story unfinished. It's almost Sartre-level existential, a woman who defined herself through others' love, only to find nothing but her own emptiness. Her crimes ask us, how far will someone go to escape their pain? And what does it mean to love when it's built on control? Nannie's life is a mirror to our own obsessions. We all want love, control, a perfect story. But she took it to a horrifying extreme, showing how thin the line is between desire and destruction. Her legacy? A warning that even the sweetest smile can hide a monster, and that love, unchecked, can be as deadly as any poison.